Good afternoon from Shadow Mountain Honey Company. Don't mind the mess in the garage, but I'm working on a special project here. Basically, I've built a honey warmer. So here's this box that I've built. It's about the size of a kitchen cabinet under, the lower kitchen cabinet. If I were to measure it, it is 28 inches deep with the door, 38 inches wide, and it's on casters and sits at 3 feet tall, 36 inches tall. So essentially what this is this is a heated box designed to heat honey. Now it's not designed to pasteurize honey. It doesn't take it up to a real high temperature, but it's designed to help melt down crystallized or sugared honey. So the box is just finished, and there's a few minor little adjustments and tweaks that I need to make to it. But basically it's controlled by an electronic thermostat that heats the honey, and it'll shut off here in a second when it hits 106. It'll shut off the heating system, and then as the temperature drifts down to 104, then it'll kick back on. So it's basically trying to stay right around the 105 degree mark. And the thought process there is, a beehive can get that hot in the summer, especially up in the supers. So it's not going to harm the honey to be at that low temperature, but it will help melt the honey. So I'm going to open the box up, and I built it entirely just out of plywood, put it on casters, plywood 1x3, 1x2. It just uses simple latches to keep the door closed. I'll just pop the latches. We'll swing the door open. And you can hear the fan just kicked off because it hit 106 on the temperature probe. But now with the door open, the temperature dropped and the fan kicked back on. So essentially right now I've got 3 buckets of honey in here, a tray of some bottles, and then I actually have a pizza stone with some more bottles. And the reason I've got the pizza stone in there, I'm experimenting with it, but essentially the trouble that I'm having is that when I melt down a jar of honey, this is mostly melted down, it's still kind of crystallized on the bottom. So I'm trying to figure out a way to get a little more heat to the bottom, since there's no air cycling under the bottom of these jars. I want to get a little more heat to the bottom to melt those crystals at the bottom. That's my theory anyway. But how this is built is it's basically an insulated box. I use 1-inch foam board inside the box. I've built a grate of 1x2s to allow airflow underneath the honey. And then it has 2 ceramic reptile heaters. Just 110 volt, use a light bulb socket right there. Ceramic reptile heaters, one there and one back in the corner. And then I have a $12 fan I bought off of Amazon. It's like a large computer fan that is designed to circulate the air, and it does that so you don't generate hot spots. So basically it blows the air around in here, tries to keep the temperature at about 105 in these buckets. It takes several days to melt the buckets down. They weren't like solid hard, but they were crystallized. But essentially, that's how it works. And then here's the temperature probe. I'll have to figure out a better way to mount it. But right now it's just kind of hanging down there in the air between 2 buckets, measuring the temperature inside the box. And when that temperature hits that 106 mark, it will shut off. So that's essentially, I've got the door insulated too, and some weather stripping up here to seal it off. But that's essentially what I'm doing. And I can melt down quite a bit of honey at a time, where I was using different projects to melt stuff down a jar at a time. I'm just producing too much to do that now. So I needed a way to melt down some buckets. So that's my honey warmer. And again, I just cut plywood, and I'm not much of a carpenter. Some of my joints aren't perfect, but it's working. We've already melted a couple buckets of honey down. And it's definitely working, but you can see just by me having the door open for a little bit, the temperature dropped to 88.7, but it's climbing because the honey in there is warm already. So that helps heat it up faster when you had the door open to change stuff out. But I'll leave this door open, or I'll leave this running probably for a few days. and just check it periodically. It comes back up to temperature pretty quick when the honey's in there warm. When you put cold honey in there, obviously it takes a while longer. So don't mind the messy garage. I still got to clean up from building this and put away the Halloween decorations over there and stuff. But I just wanted you to see my honey warmer. Have a great day.